So Snow White had an absolutely horrible first weekend at the box office. In today's video, we're going to talk about just how bad it was, what might happen to it next, and how none of this is going to affect Disney's plan to continually make live-action remakes. But first, please like, subscribe, and share. Anything you can do will be greatly appreciated. Snow White made somewhere between $43 and $48 million on its opening weekend domestically. And while that might sound like a truckload of money, the fact is that it cost somewhere between $250 and $270 million to film, not to mention about another $50 million to market. Making less than 1/6 of your entire expenditure in opening weekend is absolutely horrible. Because just understand, only less people are going to be watching it as time goes on. It's not like this movie is received really great word of mouth. So why did the movie do so bad? Well, Rachel Zegler went out of her way to insult the original story. You know, the original one where it won an Academy Award for being the first full-length animated movie? You know, the one that helped launch Disney's career? Yeah, she decided to talk crap about that film. And while some of the things may not line up with how things are in the year 2025, people still love the golden feature. Not to mention there were other issues where Peter Dinklage said that they shouldn't use dwarves because for some reason he speaks for all little people in the world. So they decided to make it 7 just random people living in the forest together, which is actually a lot more creepy than a bunch of brothers living together. And then that got poorly received, so then they had to do 7 CGI dwarves and get them back to where they started. All in all, that's a way to really raise the cost of your film before you even gotten it to theaters. And since everything has to be green screen and CGI and super well done, every single frame, every single time you do it, costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. But eventually they got through all of that and they decided, hey, maybe we should change the actual plot of the movie. Apparently, Someday My Prince Will Come is not even in the movie. You know, one of the 4 major songs of the film, the original song that you probably know all the words to, even if you haven't seen it in 20 years. Yeah, they removed that because why would you have that in there when you haven't even made the prince the hero? And while I will agree that it's a little creepy sometimes that the guy came up to kiss her to wake her up, because it was true love, it actually did work in the movie. And if you didn't like that story, why not make a completely different movie? It's like, hey, I like Tokyo, but I don't want it to be destroyed by Godzilla, so we're gonna just have Godzilla not destroy Tokyo. At a certain point, maybe you should just not make a Godzilla movie. So where will this movie go from here? Well, more than likely, it's going to slowly trickle down, probably make 30 million next week, 20 million the week after, and then maybe 5 and 10. Overall, somewhere stopping right around $100 to $120 million domestically, and probably the same international. At best, it'll make almost what it costs to film, not including marketing. So Disney will push it out as some sort of really big event, probably around mid-May to early June, right on Disney+. Maybe they'll line it up with Mother's Day to make it ironic because she had the evil stepmother. But they'll make it with a bunch of fanfare and not really just admitting the fact that Snow White hit streaming way too quickly because nobody was excited to see it. Now, one could make the argument that Disney knew this was coming. Disney had to make all those changes because they knew all the issues that Rachel Zegler and all the dwarf changes would cause. But they kept pushing forward. Why they kept pushing forward? Well, they probably thought that all the issues would blow over. Well, here they are, blowing all over your box office intake. They'll make a few million off of on-demand, and if they ever make a Blu-ray release, probably in a few years, they'll make a few $100,000 off that. But the fact is that this one's a loser. So, do I think that this will change Disney's plan of making live-action remakes? Absolutely not. The fact is that Lilo and Stitch comes out in a few months, and there's a few more already coming down the pipe. Not to mention we have Hercules coming up, and knowing our luck, we're only about 5 to 10 years away from a live-action Toy Story. The way Disney sees it is that they may have a few mistakes, but these bring in a truckload of money. And how can I argue against it? The Lion King brought in an absolute buttload, well over $1 billion. While it didn't add anything to the cultural zeitgeist, It did add a lot to Disney's pockets, which is really all that they care about in the end. So if you really wanted to stop live action remakes, you would have to not watch Lilo and Stitch, you'd have to not watch Hercules, you'd have to not watch every single one that's coming. But if you look at the people online, most of the people who said that they skipped this were because of the Rachel Zegler issues or some of the other issues related to this film. The fact is that most people that are online are talking about how they want more live action remakes. so they're gonna keep coming. There'll be some good, there'll be some bad. In my opinion, they're all a waste of time, but I need to come to understand that I don't represent the people that are going to see Disney movies anymore. The fact is that it's people with children, or it's someone who's excited to see their favorite actor or actress playing a prince or princess, or maybe it's the live action version of their favorite cartoon when they were growing up. So there are people that are going to continuously watch these. But I do think the amount that these will take in will go down. People are starting to get tired of this absolute deluge of live action remakes coming, one after another after another. So Snow White will be only the current mistake Disney makes. And they have 6 or 7 other big films coming out for the rest of the year. And they will have their victories and they will have their losses. And for me, I'll be skipping every single live action remake going forward.
Hey, thanks for watching my video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and check out those other videos on screen now.